Now, traffic is pretty orderly here on this campus, but that's not the case in most big cities. That's why researchers at UC Berkeley are trying to figure out just how to make intersections smart. Here's Larissa Brandon.
More than 100 Americans are killed in car accidents every day. Many of those fatalities occur here at the intersections of busy city streets. One of the most common intersection collisions involves drivers making left-hand turns. In fact, left turn crashes make up 1/3 of all intersection collisions, resulting in 9,000 deaths a year and about $500 million in property damage. But a left turn collision is unlikely to occur at this particular intersection. That's because it is a smart intersection. And what makes it so smart?
It has instrumentation, it has communications. So it has a way of talking and listening to cars, a way of sensing cars, and a way of telling the driver through the car or directly from the intersection what's happening.
Jim Meisner is research manager for Smart Intersection, which is one of several transportation safety projects being developed by California Partners for Advanced Transit and Highways, or PATH. Housed at UC Berkeley's Richmond Field Station, PATH is a collaboration between UC Berkeley and the California Department of Transportation to develop high-tech solutions to ease California's traffic problems. While some projects may never be realized, Meisner says the smart intersection has the potential to make an impact.
As a research team here at PATH, and me in particular, I've had friends who've died at intersections, and I don't want to die at an intersection, so that all means a lot to us. Not all the work that we do can yield tangible results in terms of lives saved, but this is one that could.
Meisner and his team have developed a simple yet effective way to warn drivers of an impending left turn crash using readily available technology like GPS, wireless networks, and radar detectors.
As you approach the intersection, you want to turn left. There'll be devices or sensors on the side of the road that will measure your range and the speed as you approach the intersection. It'll also measure the range and speed of the other car that approaches the intersection. And when it predicts that there could be a conflict, a light on the left-hand side will go on and it'll flash. Don't turn left. Left turn arrow with a slash on it. And as soon as the processor on the side of the road calculates that it's safe to turn, the sign will turn off, and indeed you can proceed through the intersection safely.
Meisner says older cities and towns will benefit most from this system.
The type of street that would do well here are streets where you already have a built-up urban environment and you can't simply widen the street to put a left turn channel or a special lane.
So tell me, how does the smart intersection really work?
This is a box like any other intersection, but when we open it up, you'll see that we put in a computer or the brains behind the smart intersection. And these brains talk to a traffic signal controller, which talks to the traffic signal lights. But also talking to the computer are the sensors. And so we're able to communicate from the sensors to the traffic signal, from the traffic signals to the sensors, and to the flashing signal that you see to warn people not to turn left.
While technology is a main part of the solution, there's also the human factor, and that is how drivers respond to these new systems. Measuring that response is a job of Christopher Nowakowski, who uses this car to test drivers.
The cameras on the dashboard that are looking at the driver are part of an eye tracking system that allow us to monitor where the drivers are looking as they approach an intersection or as they're driving. So we want to know, how do drivers react to the sign, and how do we create the sign and the warning such that it works for people. If you activate the sign too early, people can't figure out if it applies to them, or they might feel that the sign is incorrect. If you activate the sign too late, then you won't have time to respond to the sign and drivers will simply ignore it. And so we think that there's sort of a sweet spot in between where the people will see the sign, know that it applies to them, and agree with the sign and obey it, have enough time to react.
Despite the work that remains to be done, the smart intersection has already attracted a great deal of support from state and federal officials. Recently, Meisner and team showed off their work at a government conference on intelligent vehicle technology, and the response to Smart Intersection was overwhelmingly positive. Meisner says car companies, other states, and municipalities are looking to partner with PATH on this effort. The next step is running tests on city streets. After that, it may take at least 5 years before you'll see a smart intersection in your city. In Berkeley, I'm Larissa Brannon.